this session for those people who can't make it. And we are recording now. And essentially, we're going to have two sessions. The first session is going to be what we're calling 10-10-10, which is three tech tools that are going to be shown to you in a 10-minute spans each time. And then from there, we're going to transition into badging at AISL. So it should be pretty straightforward. Hopefully this is informative and you get something from this. We're going to start with Rachel, and then after Rachel will come Josemary, and then I'll close this out with the a tech tool and then into badging. I've made Rachel and Josemary co-hosts. So you guys should be able to share screen, etc. And Rachel, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Hi, y'all. Okay, so I'm probably not going to take the whole 10 minutes. We are all super busy. But I just wanted to share out some cool tools that I got from an ASAP PD that I recently attended about planning for project-based learning. So, you know, some of the stuff that I learned it was things like you kind of already know about planning PBL, but there were a couple novel takeaways. And one of them was this tool that I can share I'll share in the chat when Josemary's presenting. But basically, this tool helps you really hone in on the planning of the project that you do at the end of a PBL unit. And something I like about it a lot is it's actually 1, 2, 3, like 4 different pieces. I know a lot of times when I'm planning PBL units, I only allocate maybe like 2 weeks for the project, and then I'm always really rushed for time. And I like that this sort of lays out for you, like, no, it takes a lot longer than that. And there's piggybacking on the PD that Melissa gave to elementary last week about feedback, and when you give students feedback, actually giving them the opportunity to implement your feedback. So there's actually 3 different chances in using this tool for students to implement the feedback you give them. Like they do the project once, essentially, then you give feedback, and then they redo it a second time, then you give feedback, they redo it a third time, you give feedback again, and then the 4th time is sort of their finished plan. So I really appreciated that perspective. And then the second tool that I loved was a project planner for students. And I think in elementary school, especially, this is sort of a novel idea of having students sort of plan out their whole projects. I know a lot of times as teachers, we sort of want to plan it for them and walk them through the steps. But using this project planner, students actually have an opportunity to plan out their projects themselves, including thinking about what they want to study, and also like what the point of their project is, using this heart, hand, and mind strategy. Like, how do you want your project to make people feel? What makes it useful? And what about my project is easy to understand? And then they can think about like questions they have for their teacher. They can think about what they need to ask to really get them going or to help them out. And then they also have an opportunity to reflect on the feedback that they get and make a plan about how they're going to use that feedback to make their project better. So I always I do PBL a lot in my classes. And so any kind of tool that helps me really flesh out those individual pieces and then invite students to have an opportunity to be a part of that process is really exciting for me. So that's why I wanted to share this. And that's it, not 10 minutes. Do you guys have any questions about that?
Rachel, ask me, really quickly, can you share a link to this in the chat?
Yeah, I will.
Robbie, do we have a place like, for example, on the Nest where these types of resources could be available?
Oh, there is.
Now you have the resources to put on the Nest.
There's a lot on there.
I feel like I artificially started off a commercial.
Yeah.
Is this a question for you? Is this it looks like it's a web page, a Google Doc. is there a template for it? I mean, is there, is there a PDF of it or something like that?
So, I mean, you could convert it to PDF just by like saving it as one. Like as the teacher, I would use this one for my plan and I would share this out with students. As I teach elementary school, I would reformat this and probably turn it into like a seesaw kind of activity. But if like as a high school teacher, I probably would just have students make a copy of the Google Doc. I would imagine.
But I mean, whose is it? I mean, if we go to this page, this link, where am I going to?
Oh, I think it's in my Google Drive. I think you're going to my Google Drive.
Okay, that's fine. I just, I don't know. I don't want to just jump onto somebody else's drive and not know what, who they
Yeah.
are.
Good question. And yes. So if you would want to use this, please make a copy of it. Thank you. But Robbie, if you could put this on the Nest or something like that, that would probably be more helpful, right? Like make a.
Rachel, I can convert this link into a mandatory copy. So when people click on it, it automatically creates a copy in their Google Drive.
Beautiful. Arena.
I can send this right now. 1 second.
Thank you.
One thing I learned from this is I didn't know you could have so many tabs open on a computer at one time. Holy moly.
I think Robbie has more.
This depends on the processing speed.
It becomes glacial.
Great. Well, thanks, Rachel. Is there any other questions about this PBL template planner? Because if not, you can stop sharing and Josemary can take it away.
Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm going to get started with just showing Google Keep. Many of you might already use it. This is a cool tool that I started using over the summer. I saw, since we were going to go remote, in a couple of the PD workshops I attended, they mentioned using Google Keep. So Google Keep for me has been a great way for, in the beginning of the year when I didn't really know that we couldn't see the kids. So I had brand new students. So I just kind of put pictures and I took my conference notes on there. And what I like about Google Keep, it's already there. It's already on your Google Drive. You just have to look for it. And you can organize all of your tabs. You can collaborate with teachers. So like when you have specialist teachers or students who are in ELL or any special services, I just collaborate with them and they can see the notes that I'm keeping for students. It's also a great way, like if I want to just quickly in the classroom when I'm meeting with kids, I just go, okay, with my girls, I'm looking for a specific name I can search and just type up any conferring notes. So it's a very great way for you to kind of keep your conference notes. And now we're kind of stepping away from paper, and a great way for you to collaborate. So I don't know if any of you have used it before or any other ways that you've used it. Feel free to share, but this has been a lifesaver for me this school year. And then just jamming with Jamboard. So Jamboard's another tool that I've used in the classroom. And these are not my templates. I took them from another workshop I attended. But it's like an interactive whiteboard, and it's great for you to collaborate with teachers and also for your students to work on at the same time. So I can share this out with you guys as well. And you can include any sort of like morning meeting activity with them. So this one, there's share your favorite COVID memes. There's so many different things. You can have an interactive interactive word wall on there as well. The only thing about Jamboard is that depending on the device you're using, you have different features. So if you're on an Android app, you have all of these different features. If you have iOS or iPads, these are some of the features that have. And then if you're using the web version, it's a little bit limited. It's a little bit limited when you're using the web version. So I'll feel free to share this out with any of you guys. If you're interested, you can put a little meme timer and have kids share out your thoughts on this new activity or this new concept that we're learning. It's just a great way for kids. I've done KWL charts For teams, you can do, you know, a to-do list, something that you're working in progress, review and done. So it's just a great way for everyone to kind of collaborate, kids and colleagues as well. So quick, easy, those are my two tools to go to. Any questions?
I have a question, Ms. Josemary.
Yes.
When students are writing on the Jamboard, can you see who's writing what? And in case there's kids who are being naughty?
You can, but if they log in, so that depends. Like if you have them using their Gmail account, sometimes their name pops up. If it's anonymous, you know how sometimes when you make it public, they have like a random name. So that's the only thing. I ask my kids to make sure they write their name at the top. And my kids have been pretty responsible when we use Jamboard in the classroom, but I don't know, middle school, high school might be a bit different. Question, sorry, I couldn't see anybody's hand. So
Josemary, how do you get the Jamboard?
Oh, this is also on Google. So sorry. Sorry, there's someone is unmuted. This is also on Google. So when you, let me just quickly share this here. So when you go into your Google Drive, you click on new, as if you're creating a new doc, like a Google Doc, then click on more, and then you'll finally see the Google Jamboard as an option. So you just click on there, it's already there. Just like Google Keep, they're already actually there. You just have to look for them. And once you're there and you kind of play around with it and get yourself, you know, used to the tools, so it's just a great thing to use with the kids. And the kids already have it in their Gmail accounts as well. So you'll just have to share your Jamboard, just like you would share a Google Doc, then they'll be able to access it. If you want them to edit, or if there's something that you just want them to view, you also have that option to do, just like you have with your Google Docs and any other Google document that we're working on. Any other questions? Welcome.
Ms. Josemary, what's the most frequently used, like when do you use this most frequently? And when have you found the most success with Jamboard?
I like to use Jamboard when I'm doing like a beginning of the unit, KWL chart, having them reflect on their learning, because I'll use the same Jamboard. They kind of can see what they wrote before and how they felt, you know. It's just, for me, that's easiest. And I've also used it for interactive word walls. So when we were completely remote, it was a great way for the kids to kind of go on in there and put up whatever science or social studies keywords that we were using for that specific unit. But of course, there's so many different ways to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have used Google Keep. How do you insert pictures? I've not tried putting pictures before, kids' pictures.
Okay, let me quickly go back to Google Keep. It's easy. I've inserted, let me just show you. You go to notes. Let me, hold on. There's a bunch of things popping up right now. So if I want to type in a specific note, where was I? Here, okay. Here, there's just an icon here that you can just add a picture to. Wow. You see the little icon there? Sorry, my computer's slow. Right here, you can insert an image. You can change the colors. I like to make it colorful, so you can change the background color. And you can insert your collaborators here, anyone you want to share. And they'll just have an email pop up, say, Josemary is collaborating this note with you. And then it'll automatically add to their own Google Keep.
Meaning that you already have the kids' pictures in your folder or file.
Yeah, I took them from the beginning of the year. I didn't know what my kids were looking like, so I needed to make sure I had pictures of them. So I went to Plus Portal, and in Plus Portal, I was able to find their pictures. So I just kind of screenshotted the pictures and then popped it in to my Google Keep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So I hope you guys find this helpful. Are many of you already using Google Keep, or this is brand new, you never heard of it? Thumbs up if you use it, thumbs down if you never heard of it. Because I'm just obsessed with it now. So you guys should definitely at least try it out, even for personal things. Like I was taking 3 courses over the summer, and just to keep my course load, you know, and it feels good to check something off your list, even if it's virtually. So that's, that was helpful for me over the summer. And then I decided to kind of use it in the classroom as well. Thank you. I'm all done, Robbie.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Josemary. All righty. Moving on into the third one. I am going to really quickly share with you guys. All right. And all right. So for the third tool, today, we're going to learn about Annotate. And basically the objective is basically to learn about Annotate, learn what it is, what it can do, how you can use it. And then also I'm going to teach you how to install it. And then also bring up a few of the extras that Annotate comes with. All right, so Annotate is a tool that connects through your Chrome browser. And then really it's a simple and effective tool that you can use when you're teaching live or when you're recording an instructional video. And for the most part, it's relatively easy to use. Now, when you install Annotate onto your Chrome browser, this is going to be what the toolbar looks like. At the top left, starting at the left, those 8 squares, that's how you shrink it in and out. The top, let me just go ahead and use Annotate as I talk with you. So this one right here moves it in and out. This one right here is a laser pointer. This one allows you to take a picture. This one right here erases or hides all the annotations that you're using as you're teaching. Here's how you save it. This is how you clear all your annotations. This one just gives you a minimize bar. This one's kind of like the grab hand. So if you want to switch from annotation to movement, you'd click on this one. This is your pen tool. Here is a highlighter tool. This is your eraser if you want to erase certain things. You can add in text with this one. And this one is another highlighting tool, but what it does is it automatically reads text. So if you're like reading an email, you can pull that up and then you can start highlighting things within the email so it'll recognize text. So that is essentially the toolbar for Annotate. Now, how you could use this as an example, let's say, we're teaching and we're talking about science. So you can start throwing off diagrams, and as you're instructing on Zoom or whatnot, you can, write in. So you can write in like, cell wall or whatever. You can also use the Annotate tool while you're browsing online. So if you're looking at a website or you're showcasing a website to your students, you can use the tool to go through and, underline stuff or highlight things that you're talking about. It overlays that way. And then also really doesn't have to be, a website. It could also be, you could be watching a YouTube video where you could pause it and then you can start writing things on the street, like on the scene that you're seeing here, or you could even do Netflix. It could, really anything that's on your browser, you can write over it with Annotate. So again, pretty simple tool, but it can be very effective in your teaching. Second part, we're going to talk about how to install it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the Google. Just go ahead and type in Chrome Store, and then you're going to just, click on that first one. And once you're in the store, you're going to, on the left-hand side, you'll write in just Annotate, and then this thing will populate here, and just go ahead and click on it. Once you click on it, you're going to click on Add to Chrome, which is right here. And if you notice right here, there's a link to the website, annotate.net. You're going to want to click on that as well, later, because that's where the extras are. But we'll skip that for now. And this is just like any, Chrome extension that you've added. So once you've added an extension to your Chrome browser, and there's tons, guys. Annotate's not the only one by any stretch of the imagination. There's tons of ones that are coming out all the time. feel free to look through it. There's always good ones popping up. Before this session started, I was talking with Luisa about one called Toucan, which is about Spanish and how it automatically reads text and inserts Spanish words to help you immerse better. Anyways, on your Chrome browser, you'll see this little jigsaw piece, and that's your extensions. And then your extensions will be, right here. This is the one for Annotate, this one with the square and the little blue arrow. And you can pin it, which means it'll be on your browser at the top, or you can just click that off and it won't be there. And again, this is the little tool browser that you'll see when you are using it. So it's easy to kind of turn on and off. Third part is the extras. So using it's a pretty, like I said, straightforward process, but there are some extra cool features. Annotate's trying to be more than just this little add-on. So what you do is you go to the website and you just click, free sign up, log in to join, sign in through your Gmail, single sign on. And then when you get to the sign on page, it'll look like this. Once you're there, there's a couple different features. One, they have a pretty nifty graphing calculator that you can use. And again, this is perfect for when you're share screening in a Zoom class and you're teaching or something like that. Gives you a couple features here, colors, and it's just a nice little free tool. They're also trying to expand into screen recording. So once you click on the screen recording, you can just click the record button and then share it. So almost like a Loom where you're recording and you can use all the tools within Annotate. This isn't just through the Chrome browser extension. This is through the website itself. Because again, they're trying to expand even further than just the extension. And then any kind of tutorial videos, like we are recording this session, but there's, anytime they're coming with new things or you find a tool that, you want to learn how to use, they'll have, you just click the content library and you'll see like, all these different videos and stuff. Any questions on the Annotate tool? Any questions?
Robbie?
Yep.
It's a Chrome extension, right?
Yes. So you have the Chrome browser and then you just add that as an extension.
Okay. So, but you said you can get it from the company itself. If you get it from the company itself, can you use it with other browsers, or is it still just Google Chrome?
Great question. So the Chrome tool is going to be the one where it lets you to overlay on the websites and videos and stuff like that. But if you wanted to use it for like screen recording or what have you, that's going to be through annotate.net, which could be used in Safari or whatever.
Okay. All right. You said annotate.net, right?
Yeah. And,
okay.
And again, you could just go on the Chrome browser. All righty. If there's no other questions, let's give ourselves a minute to just kind of stretch out. And Stan, you guys have been great. It's been about 30 minutes, and then we'll go into the second half of this. So let's take a 2-minute stretch break, myself included, and then we'll reconvene in about 60 to 90 seconds. All right, hopefully you guys are all stretched out. We're gonna go ahead and go into the second half of this, which is badging. It's a bit text heavy, so I apologize for that, but this is going to be saved in the Nest, so future people can check out this presentation, or people who wanna revisit it, that way they don't have to watch the recording. It is recorded, they can find that as well, but I just wanted to kind of cover all my bases here. So I'm gonna go ahead and share screen for badging. All right, so the objectives for the badging is first, an introduction to badging, what it is, why is it relevant? Second thing we're gonna look into is what badges that we at AISL care about and some of the projected timelines that we have. Third thing we'll do is we're gonna look at how we're gonna support the staff. The tech team is how we're gonna support the staff for this year and beyond. And then we'll end it with some resources and questions. All right, so the first part is what is a badge? So a badge is basically, for those who don't know, it's something that is awarded or earned once a series of tasks or competencies are demonstrated. And basically what it does is it lets other people know that you know a particular software or set of skills, and it's awarded by this third party. And then, lets other people know, what you're doing. And it also lets yourself know that as well. Anyone can create badges. Teachers can create badges. We can create badges. And it's really actually a cool way to, build that kind of community in your class, where if you have that in your class, you can have badges that, kids kind of buy into. But really, there are some badges that are a bit more universally accepted, such as, Google Certified Educator, Apple Teacher, Common Sense Media Educator, et cetera, et cetera. And these are the badges that are going to, stick with you as you transition in your career. So how do you earn a badge? Usually it's pretty straightforward. There's going to be like either a website where the company's created, a series of trainings, or if, the school or whoever creates a series of tasks, you just basically complete those tasks, or, complete an exam, or go through a series of hours of learning. Once you complete it, they give you the micro-credential. And then badges look, different, but kind of the same. They're usually kind of small and compact. They're informative. They'll have the logo of the company, and then it'll give, a little description. Usually what a company will do is they'll give you the badge, like the little icon, and then they'll also give you like a PDF as well that you can kind of keep for your records. So if you're wondering why these badges are important, really when you have a badge, it lets everyone know, the school, your students, parents, future schools, and even yourself. It kind of gives you a justification that you do know the software that you are using, and that you have the skills required for the job. And if you're wondering like, well, okay, that's great, but how can that really help me? Once you've earned these badges, you can add them to your CV, and micro-credentialing is something that's becoming more and more important when you're talking about writing your CV or your skill sets. So whenever the next job comes, or promotion or whatever, having a series of micro-credentials is very important. Also, people can use these badges as kind of a branding for themselves by including them into letterheads or their emails. And again, it just lets you know that it's a bit of a justifier that, yes, you do know the application that you're using. All right, so that's part one. Part two, we're going to talk about the badging at AISL. So when people arrive at AISL, there's an expectation for you to complete work using the systems that we provide. The systems it's Google Classroom, email, Drive, Sheets, plus portals, Seesaw, ManageBack, et cetera. And it's important for you to know how to use these systems fully. And so you obtaining these badges is important for us as a school, because that lets us know that you're competent in what you're doing. Now, I'm sure most of you can earn these badges right now just because you have been using them, but there needs to be a more streamlined and kind of a set of expectations when coming into the school. These are the expectations, and these are the badges that we care about. Now, there are other badges. So there's certain applications that you might use all the time. Maybe not every teacher uses them, but again, it's a way for you to kind of stand out. You can earn those badges. And if you want to earn one of those badges and you're having any kind of issues with it, we'd love to support you in that endeavor, and we will. Now, our goal is to move forward and have all of our staff to be badged and certified in all the major systems that we're asking teachers to use or adopt. So some of these include, like I said, Google Certified Educator Level 1, Common Sense Media Educator, which is essentially digital citizenship. We're all teaching students online and how to use internet and web browsing effectively. So this is a really important one that all of our staff is Common Sense Media Educator certified, and we know digital citizenship. If you're in elementary or high school, we have Seesaw, we have ManageBack, etc. And then also if you're using Apple devices, so if you're taking an Apple computer from the school or you're using an iPad or whatever, we'd like you to be Apple teacher. If you're wondering about the expectations and the timelines, the goal is to have all of our staff to be certified in all these baseline applications by the end of the 2021-2022 school year. Obviously, the school will pay for any costs associated with badging the staff and will provide training to ensure that all staff are successful in this endeavor. Other things that you want to consider. So if you would like to request a subscription for the school, you think everyone should have Edpuzzle. Like over the summer, we all kind of learned about Edpuzzle. We all loved it. So the school spent a bunch of money to ensure that the entire staff could use Edpuzzle. If you want to have an application that you'd like to bring to the staff, expect to be trained and also to obtain a badge that goes along with it, not just for yourself, but like everyone. So if you're requesting something that's for, K-8, expect all K-8 teachers to get badged. That's just going to be part of the solution. And the reason for that is twofold. One, again, it ensures that the money that we're spending on these applications, you know how to use them and use them effectively. And then two, it gives you this badge that you can use now and take with you as you move on. Part 3, we're going to talk about how we will support you. So the first thing is we have Tech Tuesdays. That was something that's been historically happening at the school for a while, even before I came to the school. We're going to continue that on starting after spring break. So every Tuesday afternoon, the tech team is going to welcome anyone and everyone to join us for badging training. If you'd like, we'll announce which badge is going to be offered, when. And I think we'll start with Google Certified Educator Level 1. So you're welcome to come in. Now, a lot of these badges, you can do it self-paced. You honestly don't even really need us. There's programs in place where they've done probably a far better job than what we could train you with. Seesaw Pioneer has a great program and stuff like that, but we can still help you and facilitate it to you in that way. But again, we're going to open it up and support you every Tuesday. It's a voluntary thing. It's optional. And again, the expectation is by the end of next school year. So this will be something that'll continue in the next year when Joe, the next year's tech director, comes in. He'll be continuing on with this. He's fully on board. We've already met a number of times, and he was actually a part of this as well in the discussion and the planning as well. And so the badging really from now until the end of the school year, it's optional. But again, if you once you complete this badge, the badges are valid for a number of years. So if you just want to get this kind of knocked out of the way, you are very welcome to. And again, we're very much here to help. And then, again, we're going to help support all the way into next year. And, there's a ton of different badges you can obtain. One last bit is that part of this, the badging process is that badging will more than likely be considered as part of a requirement to becoming a model teacher, if you remember about the merit-based pay. So for the coming years, if you'd like to be a model teacher, you're probably going to have to be certified in the systems that we're asking you to use. So again, it's in your best interest probably to get certified and to get badged. Last thing I'm going to show you here is some resources. So we're in luck. We're going to probably get out of here early. Here's just a quick picture. You can see a bunch of different badges. There's Kahoot, Padlet, Quizlet, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a ton of these badges that are out there. And again, it's just a way for you to add them to your CV, and it kind of showcases your skills a little bit. All right, so this first one is links to different badging. If you just want to get started independently, I shared this presentation in the chat, so you have access to it. Of course, it'll be on the Nest along with the other tools that we have from today's session. And yeah, feel free to go through it and see what's relevant, and you can get started along the way. So here these are for you, and it kind of gives a bit of description about each one. So yeah, feel free to take a look at that. And that is pretty much it. Hopefully that was fairly straightforward. Do I have any questions?
Thanks, Robbie. A question, if we want to get started right away, this might be a question better suited for Tom or Sean. How should we just pay for it and then apply and get reimbursed for it?
I believe this is going to be coming from the curriculum budget. It could be coming from the tech budget, but whatever it is, you can just say, hey, I'm getting Google Certified Educator. I think it's like $10 or whatever. And then, yeah, we'll either pay it for you or you can pay it and get reimbursed. Either way, you'll be compensated for it.
Robbie?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
know it may be considered for the model teacher. Is there going to be a time frame that we're going to get information as to what constitutes a model teacher, like with this being one of the requirements?
Yeah, that's something that I believe will be developed along a committee next year. So I can't give information on like, this is exactly what a model teacher is going to constitute, but I know I've had discussions with the administration about this being a component of it, and the feedback that, that's kind of, the dialogue has been fairly, unanimous in terms of thinking that badging will be one of the requirements of it.
Okay, and so as people are coming in, is this something that teachers are going to be expected to know coming into the school, or new teachers will get as—
Great question. Yeah, great question. So basically, when the orientation happens next year, Joe and Chuck Woody will be leading the charge and introducing badging in they might even use the same presentation, talking about badging, the importance of it, our goals for the year, and then yeah, and so everyone will kind of be on the same page about what our expectations are and how to get badged and stuff and those kind of things.
And my final question, I'm sorry, everybody, has this, and I guess I'm just saying it so that it's put out there, with time being the consideration that everybody's looking at for everything, of not having enough time. And you said a series of hours for learning. So this is something that we're doing on our own time to be able to get accredited in or badged in, or whatever the phrase may be?
Great question. So as of from now until the end of the year, it's going to be on Tuesdays on a voluntary basis from like, I think we'll start it at like either between 2 and 4, those hours, if you want to come in and get support. However, I know distinctly talking with Tom about this, and there should be some time cut out next year for the staff to get badged, because that's part of one of the delimiters for any kind of training is time. Time's a big one. So there will be some time cut out for you guys to spend that time on getting training. And then some of these badges are less time extensive in achieving than others.
Robbie, a question. Robbie,
Yes, ma'am.
you just said that on Tuesdays you would be, it's a support. But for example, if anybody misses for some reason one of those Tuesdays, how is the impact of losing one of those hours?
Really, the way these badges are designed, they're all kind of at your own pace. And if you try to make it on a Tuesday, but you had to meet with a student or something, I'll be here on a Wednesday. I'll be here on a Thursday. I'll be here on a Friday. Like, I hope everyone knows the door is always open, and whatever, even if it's a prep period, we'll try our best to support you, the best way we can.
Okay. Fine.
Great questions. Keep them coming if you have any.
Is it something we can do during the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You can look on the links and, kind of go complete them as you go. And sure, absolutely.
Bobby, this is Tess. Who do we, I've got badges because of my master's, and who do we have to prove this to? Do we submit it to Melissa?
That's a great question. There's a tool that we've designed. It hasn't been fully adopted or even really showcased to teachers by any means. But within this design, it's called the Tech Report. Within it, teachers would just add the badges that they've obtained within that tech report. That might not be the way the school goes. I think this will be a discussion that, Tom and Joe and John Powell and everyone will, and Shan next year will be making, and Melissa talking about it and finding a way to prove that people have created or have taken the badges and that they've actually earned them. So great question.
Hi, I'm just kind of putting this out there. I know in elementary, we've brought up a couple times being able to use these PD Wednesdays to actually do PD, like personal PD. And I'm wondering if Wednesday might actually be a better time for us to work on that, like our PD day rather than Tuesday when a lot of us are Zooming kids or whatever, if that could be considered.
Yeah, I hear you. I would love to have you guys every Wednesday because we could talk about so many things. But I think, the admin team, they've got a pretty full plate and there's a lot of things that they're trying to, push forward, AFLs, et cetera, et cetera. So us tech guys, we got to, wait in line, take our turn.
I think that's part of the intention. I mean, Melissa or Tom are not here to speak, but I think there's the DEI work and the accreditation work. So it's just balancing all of it. And giving time for all of it. But here we are on a Wednesday talking about part of this. But there wasn't any there weren't any Wednesdays planned in. Robbie, I can't remember.
No, this was pretty much it for the rest of the year for badging. That's why I just said I'll take Tuesdays.
For this year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for this year. Next year, I'm not sure what you guys will choose to do. Not you, Sean.
There are going to be, next year, I think there are Wednesdays set aside for badging because we wanted to use part of our PD time, like as Rachel described, as our personal PD for badging. I know that there is time set aside for it. But this year, because it's optional, we're using the Wednesdays for our pre-organized things.
Well, thank you guys. I think that this kind of wraps it up. Have a great Wednesday afternoon. 2 more days until we get to enjoy spring break. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here. And we'll put all these resources in the Nest. And this is recorded, so in case you missed something, you can go back and rewatch it if you would like to. So thank you so much, and have a great Wednesday.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Robbie, Joesbury,
Thanks,
Rachel.
Adios.
See you guys.